The Great Hall of Station Omega-7 was silent. 12 different alien races sat around a huge crystal table that floated in the center of the room. Each race looked very different from the others. Some had blue skin and 4 arms. Others looked like giant bugs with shiny shells. A few glowed with their own light. At the head of the table sat Velthar. He was from the Nexari race. His body was made of living crystal that changed colors when he spoke. He had been the council speaker for over 200 years. Today, he was not happy. "We have a problem," Velthar said. His crystal body turned, red with anger. "There is a new race in our galaxy. They call themselves humans." The other council members looked at each other. Some laughed. Others just shook their heads. War Chief Thekmor stood up. He was from the Korthak Empire. He was 8 feet tall and covered in thick armor. His face looked like a mix between a lion and a shark. "Humans, I have heard of them. They are weak. They have soft skin and no claws. Why should we care about such weak creatures?" Velthar's crystal body turned blue. This meant he was thinking. "Because they have ships now. Big ships that can travel faster than light. They are moving into space that belongs to us." A soft voice spoke from across the table. It came from Zinara of the Mindari Collective. She looked almost human, but her skin was pale purple and her eyes were completely black. She could read minds, but human minds were strange to her. "I have tried to look into their thoughts from far away, but their minds are different. They think in ways that make no sense." "Different how?" asked another council member. "They do not fear us," Zinara said quietly. "Most new races are scared when they first meet us, but humans seem curious. They want to learn about us. They ask questions, instead of running away." Thekmor laughed loudly. "Then they are stupid. Fear keeps races alive. Stupid races do not last long." Velthar raised one crystal hand for silence. "Stupid or not, they are here. Our scouts report that human ships have been seen in 17 different star systems. They are building bases and talking to other races. Some races are starting to like them." This made the council worried. For 1,000 years they had controlled the galaxy. New races always did what the council told them to do. They gave the council resources and followed council rules. In return, the council protected them and gave them technology. "What do the humans want?" asked another council member. "That is the problem," Velthar said. "We do not know. They have not asked us for anything. They have not asked to join the council. They have not asked for protection. They just do what they want." "War Chief," Thekmor hit the table with his big fist. "Then we make them ask. We show them our power. We make them understand that we rule this galaxy." "Maybe we should talk to them first," said a small voice. It came from Elder Rimtok of the peaceful Banari race. He looked like a large, friendly bear with green fur. "Maybe they just do not know about our rules yet." Thekmor turned to look at the small alien. "Talk? Talking is for the weak. We should send our warships and show them what happens to races that do not follow our rules." Velthar thought about this. The crystal on his forehead glowed brighter. "No. First we will bring them here. We will test them. We will see how strong they really are. Then we will decide what to do with them." "Test them how?" asked Zinara. "The same way we test all new races," Velthar said. "We will give them choices. They can become workers for us. They can move to worlds we choose for them. Or they can refuse and face the consequences." The council members nodded. This was how they had always done things. New races always chose to obey. It was better than fighting the council's huge armies. "But what if they are not as weak as we think?" Elder Rimtok asked. Thekmor laughed again. "Look at them. They have no claws, no armor, no poison. They cannot even breathe in most atmospheres. How could such weak creatures be dangerous?" 3 days later, a message was sent to Earth. It was written in the formal language that the council always used for new races. "To the leaders of the race called humans, you are commanded to send representatives to Station Omega-7 in the Galactic core. You will be told where you belong in our galaxy. You have 30 Earth days to comply. This is not a request. On Earth, the message was received at the Global Defense Headquarters. Admiral Hyunwoo read it 3 times. He was a tall man with gray hair and calm eyes. He had fought in many wars and was not easily scared. So they want to meet us, he said to the other people in the room. Commander Somin stood next to him. She was younger than Hyunwoo, but just as experienced. She had short black hair and always wore a serious expression. It sounds more like they want to order us around. Same thing, said Dr. Kehoe from his seat at the computer. He was the smartest human alive when it came to space technology. His hair was always messy because he forgot to comb it. They want to see what we can do. Then they will try to control us. Hyunwoo smiled. It was not a happy smile. Well then, we should give them something to see. How many ships should we take? Somin asked. Just 12, Hyunwoo said. Let them think we are small and weak. Kehoe looked up from his computer. Are you sure? The intelligence reports say they have thousands of ships. I am sure, Hyunwoo said. Sometimes the best way to win is to let your enemy think they have already won. 2 weeks later, Hyunwoo's ship arrived at Station Omega 7. The station was huge. It was bigger than most moons. Thousands of alien ships moved around it like insects around a bright light. Impressive, said Lieutenant Dongjun, who was Hyunwoo's intelligence officer. He was young, but very smart. They want us to be scared. Ari, you scared? Hyunwoo asked. No, sir, just thinking about how much this cost to build. They could have fed a lot of people with that money. Commander Somin's voice came over the radio from her ship. Sir, I count 12 different types of alien vessels, all armed, all watching us. Let them watch, Hyunwoo said. Remember, we are just simple humans who are new to space travel. The human ships were small compared to the alien vessels around them. They looked basic and simple. The aliens who saw them thought they looked primitive. Inside the station, Velthar watched. The human ships dock. So these are the humans, he said. They do not look like much. War Chief Techmore studied the ships on his screen. Their ships are small. Their weapons look weak. This will be easy. But Zinara felt something strange. When she tried to read the minds of the humans on those ships, she found something unexpected. The humans were not afraid. They were not worried. Instead, they seemed ready. Ready for what, she could not tell. Something is not right, she said quietly. What do you mean? Velthar asked. The humans. They are not what they seem. Theckamore laughed. You worry too much. Look at their ships. A single Korthak destroyer could destroy all of them. An hour later, Hyunwoo walked into the Great Hall. He wore a simple blue uniform with no decorations. He looked around at all the alien council members and showed no fear. Velthar's crystal body turned bright yellow. This was his way of showing that he was in charge. Human, you stand before the Galactic Council. We have ruled this galaxy for 1,000 years. All races obey our laws. Hyunwoo nodded politely. That is very impressive. You must be very proud. This was not the reaction Velthar expected. New races usually begged for mercy or promised to obey immediately. We have brought you here to tell you your place. Velthar continued. You will choose now. You can work for us on agricultural worlds. You can mine resources for us on colony planets. Or you can move to reservation worlds where you will not bother anyone. Hyunwoo listened carefully. Then he smiled. Thank you for the generous offers, but I am afraid we will have to decline. The Great Hall became completely silent. No race had ever said no to the council before. War Chief Techmore stood up. His hand moved to his weapon. You refuse our generosity? We prefer to chart our own course, Hyunwoo said calmly. But we appreciate you taking the time to meet with us. Velthar's crystal body turned red with anger. You do not understand, human. This is not a negotiation. This is an order. I understand perfectly, Hyunwoo said, and our answer is still no. The council members looked at each other in shock. This had never happened before. Ever. Thecmore's voice was full of anger. Then you have chosen death, human. Hyunwoo's smile grew wider. Have we? That is interesting. Outside the station, Commander So-min received Hyunwoo's signal. She pressed a button on her control panel. Suddenly, the space around Station Omega-7 filled with ships. Not 12 human ships. 200 human ships appeared out of nowhere. The aliens on the station stared in shock at their screens. Where did they come from? Someone shouted. Dr. Kehoe's voice came over the radio to all the alien ships. Sorry about the surprise. We have been working on new cloaking technology. Did it work well? Inside the Great Hall, Hyunwoo was still smiling. Now then, shall we discuss this like civilized beings? War Chief Thekmore stared at the screen showing 200 human ships. His 4 eyes were wide with shock. Just moments ago, there had been only 12 small vessels. Now the space around Station Omega-7 was full of human warships. This is impossible, he roared. Our sensors are the best in the galaxy. They cannot hide ships from us. Dr. Kehoe's voice came through the communication system again. He sounded cheerful, like he was talking about the weather. Actually, it was not that hard. Your sensors look for heat and metal. Our ships use new materials that do not show up on your scanners. We also learned to make our engines very cold. Inside the Great Hall, Velthar's crystal body was flashing. Between red and blue. He was angry and confused at the same time. You tricked us, human. Hyunwoo shrugged. We prefer to call it being careful. You did not ask us how many ships we had. You just assumed we were weak. Zinara, the mind reader, was holding her purple head in her hands. I should have sensed this, but their thoughts are so strange. They think about many things at once. Enough talk, Thekmore shouted. He activated his personal communicator. All Korthak ships, this is War Chief Thekmore. Surround the human vessels, prepare to capture them. 3 huge Korthak dreadnoughts moved toward the human fleet. Each ship was 10 times bigger than the largest human vessel. They looked like giant metal sharks with weapons covering every surface. Attention human ships, came a voice from the lead dreadnought. You are surrounded. Power down your engines and prepare to be boarded. Resistance will result in your destruction. On board the human flagship, Commander So-min watched the alien ships approach. She was calm, but her crew could see the excitement in her eyes. Communications, patch me through to all ships. Channel open, Commander, replied Lieutenant Ye-jin, her communications officer. All ships, this is So-min. Remember your training. Stay calm and follow the plan. Jin-ho, are your fighters ready? Captain Jin-ho's voice came from his small fighter. Ship. Ready and waiting, Commander. These aliens are about to learn something new. The lead Korthak dreadnought activated its tractor beam. This was a powerful energy weapon that could grab other ships and pull them in. No ship in the galaxy had ever escaped from a Korthak tractor beam. The blue energy reached out toward the nearest human ship. But instead of grabbing it, the beam passed right through the vessel like it was not there. What? The Korthak captain was confused. Increase power to the tractor beam. The beam grew stronger, but it still could not grab the human ship. Dr. Kehoe's voice came over the radio again. Oh, that will not work. We studied your tractor beams for years. We built our ship hulls to let the energy pass through them. It is like trying to catch water with a net. War Chief Thekmore was getting angrier. Then use the plasma cannons, destroy them. The 3 dreadnoughts fired their main weapons. Bright green energy blasts shot toward the human ships. These weapons could destroy planets. Surely they would vaporize the small human vessels. But the plasma blast hit something invisible and exploded harmlessly in space. Energy shields, Commander So-min explained calmly, but not the kind you use. Your shields stop energy weapons by absorbing the power. Our shields redirect the energy away from our ships. Lieutenant Dong-jun, the intelligence officer, was monitoring alien communications from his hidden position. On the station, he smiled as he listened to the panic in the alien voices. Sir, he said quietly into his communicator to Hyunwoo. The Korthak ships are confused. They are asking each other how humans got such advanced technology. Let them wonder, Hyunwoo replied. On the Korthak flagship, the captain was desperate. If energy weapons do not work, we will ram them. Full speed ahead, the massive dreadnought accelerated toward the human fleet. It was like a mountain flying through space. Now would be good, Jinho, Somin said calmly. On my way, Jinho replied. Captain Jinho's fighter was tiny compared to the dreadnought. It was no bigger than a car, but it moved faster than anything the aliens had ever seen. In seconds, it was flying around the huge Korthak ship. What is that small ship doing? The Korthak captain demanded. His answer came quickly. Small explosions appeared all over his ship's hull. Jinho's fighter was firing tiny projectiles at incredible speed. The projectiles were made of dense metal and moved so fast they went right through the dreadnought's armor like it was paper. Hull breach on. Deck 7, someone shouted. Engine room is venting atmosphere, weapons control is offline. In less than 2 minutes, the mighty dreadnought was floating helplessly in space. Its engines were destroyed. Its weapons were gone. But amazingly, none of the crew were hurt. The human weapons had targeted only machinery. The other two Korthak ships stopped their attack. They had never seen anything like this before. How? War Chief Thekmor whispered. Dr. Kehoe answered from his ship. Simple kinetic weapons. Just metal projectiles moving very fast. Your shields stop energy, but they cannot stop solid objects moving at near light speed. Impossible, Thekmor said. Nothing can move that fast. We learned how to do it by studying black holes, Kehoe explained. We use gravity fields to accelerate our projectiles. It took us 15 years to figure out, but it works very well. Lieutenant Dong Jun was still listening to alien communications. Now he heard something interesting. Sir, he said to Hyunwoo, I am picking up coded transmissions. The aliens have been talking to each other in secret languages, but I can understand them. What are they saying? Hyunwoo asked. They are scared, sir. They are calling for emergency meetings. Some want to negotiate with us. Others want to attack us with their entire fleet. Hyunwoo nodded. How long have you been listening to their communications, Dongjun? About 5 years, sir. We have been monitoring all galactic communications since we first detected their signals. We know their languages, their technology, and their military capabilities. In the Great Hall, this news hit the council like a physical blow. 5 years. Veltar's crystal body turned pale. You have been spying on us for 5 years? Not spying, Hyunwoo said politely. Learning. When we first heard your radio signals, we were curious. So we listened. We learned your languages. We studied your cultures. We tried to understand who you were before we met you. Elder Rimtalk, the peaceful bear-like alien, spoke quietly. You have been preparing for this meeting. For 5 years? Actually longer, Hyunwoo admitted. We started planning what to do if we met hostile aliens about 50 years ago. We have been ready for this conversation for a long time. Zin Ara was staring at Hyunwoo with her black eyes. Your mind, it is like a library. You know so much about us, but we know almost nothing about you. That is because you never asked, Hyunwoo said. You assumed we were primitive. You thought we would be easy to control. You never considered that we might be as smart as you are. War Chief Thekmor was breathing heavily. His pride was hurt. One small victory does not make you mighty, human. We have thousands of ships, millions of soldiers. You cannot defeat the entire galaxy. Commander Somin's voice came over the communication system. War Chief, may I ask you a question? What? Thekmor growled. How many of our ships can your sensors actually see right now? There was a long pause. Then a Korthak officer's voice, full of fear. Sir, we are detecting more ships. Many more. They are appearing all around us. How many? Thekmor demanded. We are not sure, sir. Our sensors show at least 500 human vessels, but the readings keep changing. We think there might be more. Somin's voice was still, calm. Actually, there are exactly 1,000 human ships in this system right now. But do not worry. We are not here to fight. We are here to talk. The Great Hall was completely silent. 1,000 ships. The aliens had thought humans were primitive. Instead, they had brought a fleet larger than most alien space forces. How? Velthar whispered. We have been building ships for a very long time, Hyun-woo explained. While you were ignoring us, we were working. We built shipyards. We trained crews. We developed new technologies. We prepared for the day when we would meet other intelligent life. Lieutenant Dong-jun's voice came through Hyun-woo's earpiece again. Sir, I am monitoring emergency communications across the galaxy. Word is spreading fast. Every alien government is hearing about what happened here. Good, Hyun-woo said. Let them know that humans are not as weak as they thought. Dr. Kehoe's cheerful voice came over the speakers one more time. Council members, we hope this has been educational. We have many more surprises, but we prefer not to use them unless we have to. Perhaps now we can have a real conversation about the future. War Chief Thekmore looked at his disabled ships. He looked at the human fleet surrounding the station. For the first time in his life, the proud warrior felt something he had never experienced before. Respect for an enemy. What do you want, humans? He asked quietly. Hyun-woo smiled. We want what every intelligent species wants, War Chief. We want to live in peace, explore the universe, and build a better future for our children. The question is, will you let us do that, or do we need to convince you further? The council members looked at each other. Everything they thought they knew about the galaxy had just changed. The humans were not weak newcomers begging for mercy. They were a powerful civilization that had been watching and preparing for decades, and they were just 3 days after the humans showed their power at Station Omega-7. Emergency meetings were happening all across the galaxy. On 12 different worlds, alien leaders gathered to decide what to do about the human problem. On the crystal world of Nexaris, Velthar met with his advisors. The great crystal towers around them glowed with worried colors. Blue for confusion, red for anger, and purple for fear. How did we miss this? Velthar asked. Our intelligence networks are supposed to be the best in the galaxy. His chief advisor, a younger Nexari named Kolthin, changed colors rapidly. The humans have been very careful, Speaker. They hid their true capabilities well. Our spies never saw their real technology. But that was not completely true. On a trading station near human space, a figure in a hooded robe listened to this conversation through hidden devices. His name was Seong-ho, and he was human. For 5 years, he had been living among the aliens pretending to be a Nexari trader. Seong-ho looked exactly like a crystal being. His disguise was perfect. Dr. Hyo-jin, Earth's greatest scientist, had created artificial crystal skin that could change colors just like real Nexari skin. No alien had ever suspected the truth. The council is scared, Seong-ho whispered into a hidden communicator. They are planning something big. On Earth, Admiral Hyun-woo received this message in his command center. Around him, dozens of humans worked at computers monitoring the entire galaxy. What kind of big? Hyun-woo asked. War, Seong-ho replied. Thekmore is visiting other military leaders. He wants to unite all alien fleets into one huge army. He says humans are too dangerous to be allowed to exist. Commander Somin, who was still in space near Station Omega-7, heard this conversation. How many ships are we talking about? At least 3,000, Seong-ho said. Maybe more. Every military species in the galaxy is being asked to join. Dr. Kehoe looked up from his work. He was designing new weapons in his laboratory. 3,000 ships is a lot, but we expected this might happen. Are you ready? Hyun-woo asked. Kehoe smiled. Oh yes. Dr. Hyo-jin and I have been very busy. We have some new toys to show our alien friends. Dr. Hyo-jin was in her laboratory, on the far side of Earth. She was a small woman with bright eyes who never seemed to sleep. While other humans rested, she worked on impossible projects. The gravity manipulator is ready, she reported. Also the quantum tunnel generator and the matter converter. I think our guests will be very surprised. On the Korthak homeworld, War Chief Thekmore stood before a gathering of military leaders from across the galaxy. The Great War Hall was filled with creatures of every shape and size. Some had wings, others had tentacles. A few were just floating, balls of energy. Fellow warriors, Techmore said, we face the greatest threat our galaxy has ever known. The humans have technology we do not understand. They have been watching us and learning our weaknesses for years. An insect-like creature from the Hive Collective clicked its mandibles. How do we know they have not infiltrated our own worlds? Techmore paused. He had not thought of this. Our security is perfect. No alien can disguise themselves well enough to fool us for long. At that moment, Seong-ho was sitting in a cantina just 3 blocks away, listening to every word through hidden microphones he had planted months earlier. Actually, Seong-ho whispered to himself, your security is terrible. The military meeting continued for hours. Species after species agreed to join the attack on human space. They would bring their best ships and their most experienced crews. It would be the largest military force in galactic history. We will strike fast and hard, Techmore declared. The humans showed us 1,000 ships. We will bring 3 times that number. They cannot possibly defeat us all. But in her laboratory, Dr. Hyo-jin was working on something that would make numbers meaningless. She called it the network protocol. It would allow every human ship to work together as if they were one giant mind. Individual ships are strong, she explained to her assistants, but ships that can think and act as one unit are unstoppable. Her assistant, a young engineer named Woo Jin, looked worried. What if it does not work? What if the aliens have surprises too? Hyo-jin smiled. Then we use Plan B. What is Plan B? You will see. Meanwhile, Commander So-min was not sitting idle. Her fleet had spread out across the galaxy, but they stayed hidden. Each ship was watching a different alien world. Report, she said during the daily briefing. Captain Tae-young, her second-in-command, read from his datapad. The Korthak Empire is moving ships from 12 systems. The Hive Collective is emptying their border defenses. Even the peaceful Banari are sending their small fleet. They are really serious about this, said Lieutenant Yejin. Good, So-min replied. It is better to face all our enemies at once than to fight them one at a time over many years. On station, Omega-7, the Galactic Council, was meeting again, but this time they were not unified. Some members wanted to negotiate with humans. Others wanted total war. Elder Rimtalk stood up slowly. The old bear-like creature looked very tired. Friends, I have lived for 300 years. I have seen many wars. None of them solved anything permanently. This is different, Velthar argued. The humans are not like other species. They learn too fast. They adapt too quickly. If we let them grow stronger, they will eventually replace us all. Zin-Ara, the mind reader, spoke quietly. I have been thinking about the human minds I touched. They do not want to replace us. They seem to want something else. What? Several council members asked. I am not sure. Their thoughts are too complex. But I do not sense hatred or desire for conquest. I sense curiosity. And something else. Something I have never felt before in any species. What? Velthar demanded. Hope, Zin-Ara said. They hope for something better than what we have now. War Chief Techmore, who was attending the meeting by hologram, laughed. Hope will not stop. Plasma cannons, hope will not protect them from our armies. But Seong-ho, listening from his hidden position, sent a message to Earth. The council is split. About half want to fight. The other half are unsure. If we can convince the unsure ones, we might avoid a big war. Admiral Hyunwoo thought about this. It is worth trying, but we must be ready for war anyway. Dr. Ki-ho looked up from his computers. Admiral, I have been analyzing alien ship designs. I think I know their weakness. Tell me. They design their ships to fight other alien ships. Their weapons are meant for their type of shields. Their tactics are based on how they think enemies will behave. And? Ki-ho grinned. We do not fight, like any alien species. We use different weapons, different tactics, different strategies. They have been preparing to fight themselves. Instead, they will be fighting us. Commander So-min's voice came over the communicator. All ships report. Ready, Admiral. The aliens are gathering their fleets. They will probably attack within the week. Are you scared? Hyunwoo asked his officers. No, sir, came the replies from around the room. Why not? We are about to face the largest military force in galactic history, Dr. Hyo-jin answered from her laboratory. Because we are not the same humans who left Earth 50 years ago, Admiral. We have grown. We have learned. We have become something new. What have we become? Hyunwoo asked. We have become what we needed to become, she replied. We have become mighty. On the alien worlds, final preparations were being made. Ships were loaded with weapons, crews said goodbye to their families. Military leaders made speeches about glory and victory. But they were all making the same mistake they had made before. They were assuming they understood their enemy. Seong-ho sent one final message to Earth. The attack fleet is launching. 3,200 ships. They will reach human space in 4 days. Roger that, Hyunwoo replied. All ships prepare for Operation Starfall. What is Operation Starfall? Asked a young officer. Hyunwoo smiled. It is the moment when our enemies learn that humans do not just fight battles. We end them. As the largest alien fleet in history moved toward human space, they thought they were going to crush a small primitive species. Instead, they were about to discover that humanity had spent 50 years preparing for this exact moment. And humans, as they were about to prove, were very good at preparing for war. The alien armada was the most powerful force ever assembled in the galaxy. 3,200 ships from 15 different species moved through space like a metal storm. At the front flew the Korthak dreadnoughts, their hulls painted, with symbols of victory. Behind them came the crystal ships of the Nexari, the bioships of the Hive Collective, and warships from a dozen other civilizations. War Chief Thekmor stood on the bridge of his flagship, the Iron Fang. Around him, alien officers from many worlds worked together for the first time in history. The sight should have filled him with pride. Instead, he felt worried. Something is wrong, he muttered. What do you mean, War Chief? Asked his second-in-command. It is too quiet. Where are the human ships? Our scouts should have found their fleets by now. Admiral Tae-young, commanding the Human Defense Forces, watched the alien armada approach on his screens. His flagship, the Earth's Hope, was hidden behind a small moon, along with 400 other human vessels. They are looking for us, he said to his crew. Should we reveal ourselves? Asked his tactical officer, Lieutenant Soo-jin. Not yet. Let them come closer. Dr. Jae-min, the weapons designer, was making final adjustments to his equalizer systems. These were special computers that could change human weapons instantly to match whatever defenses the enemy used. All weapon systems are ready, Admiral, he reported. The equalizer protocols are active on every ship. Good. Communications, connect me to all ships. Soo-jin activated the communications array. All ships connected, sir. Attention all vessels, Tae-young said calmly. Today we defend not just humanity, but the idea that might does not make right. Stay calm, follow your training, and remember, we are not just individual ships, we are one mind with many bodies. The alien fleet reached the edge of human space and spread out into attack formation. Thekmor had studied every battle in galactic history. He knew exactly how space battles should be fought. Deploy screening ships, he ordered. Main battle, line to center. Support vessels behind. Standard attack pattern 7. But as the aliens moved into position, they found nothing to attack. Human space seemed empty. Where are they? Demanded Admiral Zektor of the Nexari fleet. Maybe they ran away, suggested a Hive Collective commander. Thekmor did not believe it. Humans do not run. They showed us that at Station Omega 7. They are here somewhere. He was right. Human ships were hiding throughout the system, but not where aliens expected them. Dr. Kehoe's new cloaking technology made them invisible to every sensor the aliens possessed. Contact, shouted a Korthak sensor operator. Human ships bearing 27 Mark IV. 500 human vessels appeared on the alien screens, moving toward the center of the alien formation. Only 500? Thekmor was confused. They have more ships than this. Where are the rest? Maybe this is all they have, suggested his tactical officer. Maybe they were lying about their numbers. No, Thekmore said. This is a trap. But we have no choice but to spring it. Admiral Tae-young watched the alien fleet react to his ships. They see our first group, Phase 2, commence. All around the system, more human ships decloaked. Suddenly, the aliens found themselves surrounded by 1,000 human vessels, attacking from every direction at once. Impossible, Zektor shouted. How did they get behind us? The answer came from Dr. Kehoe's newest invention, quantum tunnels. Human ships could disappear from one place and instantly appear somewhere else, anywhere in the system. All ships, engage, Tae-young ordered. TQ. Battle began, but it was unlike any space battle ever fought. When Korthak ships raised their energy shields, human weapons automatically switched to kinetic projectiles. When Nexari ships used crystal armor, human weapons switched to plasma beams. When Hive ships released jamming spores, human systems switched to backup sensors. Our weapons are not working, reported a panicked alien captain. Change frequency, Thekmore ordered. We have changed frequency 6 times. The human weapons changed too. Dr. Jamin smiled as he watched his equalizer systems work perfectly. Every time they adapt, we adapt faster, he said to his team. But the aliens had numerical superiority. For every human ship, there were 3 alien vessels. Slowly, the human formation began to take damage. Admiral, Sujin reported, we are losing ships. The aliens are learning to use multiple weapon types at once. Expected, Tae-young replied calmly. Dr. Kehoe, are you ready? Ready when you are, Admiral. Do it. Across the battlefield, space itself began to change. Artificial wormholes opened everywhere, and human ships began pouring through them. Not hundreds of ships, not thousands. 10,000 human vessels appeared in the system at once. The alien fleet, which had seemed so large, was suddenly outnumbered, 3-1. Where did they all come from? Thekmore whispered. Captain Jin Ho, now commanding a squadron of fighters, answered over the open channel. We have been building ships for 50 years, War Chief. While you were comfortable in your palaces, we were working in our shipyards. Impossible. Our intelligence would have detected such massive construction. Your intelligence never looked in the right places, said Dr. Kehoe's cheerful voice. We built our shipyards inside asteroids on the far sides of moons, in empty space between star systems. We built them anywhere you would not think to look. War Chief Thekmore realized he was facing defeat, but he was a warrior. All ships ramming speed. If we cannot defeat them with weapons, we will crush them with our hulls. Negative, War Chief, came Admiral Tae-young's voice. Surrender now and your crews will be spared. Never, Korthak warriors do not surrender, then you leave us no choice. Suddenly, human ships began appearing in orbit around alien homeworlds throughout the galaxy. Not just military bases, not just government centers. Every major alien world found human warships hanging in their skies. On the Korthak homeworld, citizens looked up to see 50 human ships floating above their capital city. On Nexaris, crystal beings watched human vessels position themselves over their most important crystal gardens. On every alien world, the same message was broadcast. We do not wish to harm civilians, but your fleets must surrender immediately, or we will be forced to take action. How? Thekmore demanded. How are you at our homeworlds? All our ships are here. Admiral Tae-young's voice was patient, like a teacher explaining something to a slow student. War Chief, did you really think we would put all our ships in one place? We have been preparing for this war for 50 years. We knew you would unite your fleets. We planned for it. Dr. Hyojin's voice joined the conversation. We also knew you would try to destroy us completely, so we made sure we could respond the same way. Every alien world is now under human protection. Protection? Zektor sounded confused. Yes, Hyojin continued. We could destroy your worlds right now, but we will not. Humans do not kill innocents. We protect them. Elder Rimtalk's voice came over the communication system from his homeworld. The humans, they are not attacking our cities. Their ships are just watching. We told you, Tae-young said. We do not want to conquer you. We want to live in peace. But if you force us to war, we will show you what war really means. Thekmor looked around his bridge. His officers were staring at their screens in shock. Half their fleet was already disabled, the other half was surrounded, and now human ships controlled every alien homeworld. This was not supposed to happen, he said quietly. No, agreed Admiral Tae-young. It was not. You were supposed to accept us as equals. Instead, you chose to see us as a threat, so we became what you expected. Commander Soman's voice came from her ship near the Korthak homeworld. War Chief, your people are safe. Your families are unharmed. Your children are playing in their schools while human ships watch over them. Is this the behavior of conquerors? For the first time in his life, Thekmor felt something new. Respect for an enemy who could have destroyed everything he loved but chose not to. What do you want? He asked. The same thing we wanted at the beginning, Admiral Tae-young replied. To be left alone to live our lives in peace. But since that is apparently impossible, we have a new proposal. What? Surrender. All of you. Every ship, every fleet, every government, surrender completely. And then? Velthar's voice came from Station Omega-7, and then we will show you what humans do with victory. The alien fleets powered down their weapons. Across the galaxy, alien governments officially surrendered to humanity. It was the fastest and most complete military victory in galactic history. But instead of the occupation and slavery they expected, something different happened. Human ships began offering aid to damaged alien vessels. Human medical teams treated wounded alien soldiers. Human engineers helped repair alien worlds that had been neglected by their own governments. Why? Thekmor asked as human doctors treated his injured crew members. Admiral Tae-young smiled. Because that is what we do, War Chief. We build, we help, we make things better. You tried to destroy us, so we had to defend ourselves. But now that the fighting is over, we can get back to what we do best. What is that? Creating a better tomorrow for everyone. 6 months after the Great Battle, Ambassador Minho walked through the corridors of New Hope Station. This was not the old Station Omega-7, where the Galactic Council had ruled for 1,000 years. This was something new, a place built by humans and aliens working together. The corridors were wide and bright, with windows that showed the beautiful blue nebula outside. Alien children ran and played alongside human children. Korthak engineers worked next to Nixari scientists. The Hive Collective's artists created beautiful sculptures with help from human designers. It is amazing, said Yoonji, walking beside Minho. She was the human administrator in charge of galactic reconstruction. 6 months ago, they wanted to destroy us. Now look at them. They paused at a viewing window. Below, in the station's main plaza, hundreds of beings from different worlds were trading goods, sharing meals, and learning from each other. A group of young Korthak warriors were playing a human game called basketball with some Earth teenagers. Everyone was laughing. They were not evil, Minho said quietly. They were just afraid of change. And now? Now they see that change can be good. In the new council chamber, representatives from 50 different worlds were meeting. But this was not like the old Galactic Council. Instead of 12 species ruling over everyone else, every world had a voice. Decisions were made by discussion and agreement, not by force. Elder Rimtalk, now much happier than before, was explaining a problem to the assembly. The farming worlds in Sector 7 need help. Their crops are failing because of bad weather. We can help, said Dr. Chan-ho, Earth's representative. He was a thoughtful man who believed that every problem had a solution if people worked together. Our weather control technology could fix their climate problems. What do you want in return? Asked a suspicious Nixari delegate. Dr. Chan-ho smiled. Nothing. When people are hungry, we help them. That is what civilized beings do. This was hard for many aliens to understand. For 1,000 years, help had always come with a price. Nothing was ever free. War Chief Thekmore, who now served as military advisor to the new Federation, stood up. He looked very different from the angry warrior he had been. His armor was decorated with symbols of peace instead of war. "I have served in many armies," he said to the assembly. "I have conquered many worlds. But I never understood what victory really meant until the humans showed me." "What do you mean?" asked a young delegate. "True victory is not defeating your enemies. True victory is turning your enemies into friends." In another part of the station, Dr. Hyo Jin was working in her new laboratory. But instead of weapons, she was designing tools to help rebuild the galaxy. Her latest project was a device that could clean up polluted worlds in just a few years. "Dr. Hyo Jin," said her assistant, a Mindari scientist named Telani. "I do not understand human thinking. You could rule us all. Your technology is so advanced that no one could stop you. Why do you choose to help us instead?" Hyo Jin looked up from her work. "Telani, let me ask you a question. Would you rather live in a galaxy where everyone is afraid of you, or a galaxy where everyone is your friend?" I never thought about it that way. Humans did. We thought about it for a long time. We decided that friends are better than slaves. Meanwhile, on Earth, Admiral Hyunwoo was meeting with the planet's leaders. The room was full of humans from every nation, every culture, every background, but they all shared the same dream. "The galaxy is changing faster than we expected," Hyunwoo reported. "Alien civilizations that have been enemies for centuries are now working together. Trade between worlds has increased by 400%. Scientific discoveries are happening every day." "Any problems?" asked the president of the Earth Federation. "A few. Some of the older aliens still do not trust us. They think we have secret plans to control them." "Do we?" asked someone from the back of the room. Hyunwoo smiled. "Yes, we plan to help them build better lives for their children. We plan to explore the universe together. We plan to solve problems that no single species could solve alone. Those are our secret plans." On the Korthak homeworld, something unprecedented was happening. For the first time in their history, the warrior culture was learning about peace. Human teachers were showing Korthak children how to solve problems with words instead of weapons. Young. Korthak named Bektar raised his hand in class. "Teacher Sujin, my father says warriors must always be ready to fight, but you say fighting should be the last choice, not the first choice. Which is right?" Teacher Sujin, a former human soldier, smiled at the young alien. "Your father is right that warriors must be ready to fight, but the strongest warriors are those who are strong enough to choose peace when peace is possible." "I do not understand." "Anyone can start a fight, Bektar, but it takes real strength to end a fight without anyone getting hurt. That is what the strongest warriors do." At the same time, on the crystal world of Nexaris, human scientists were working with Nexari researchers to solve the galaxy's greatest mysteries. The two species thought in very different ways, but together they were making discoveries that neither could make alone. Dr. Kehoe was examining a crystal formation with his Nexari partner, scientist Velgen. "Your people can grow crystals that store information for millions of years," Kehoe said. "Our people can build computers that process information very fast. If we combine these abilities, we could create a galactic library," Velgen finished excitedly. "All the knowledge of every civilization preserved forever and available to everyone." "Exactly. Imagine what future generations could learn from such a thing." Velgen's crystal body glowed with happiness. "For 1,000 years my people hoarded our knowledge. We thought sharing it would make us weak. Instead, sharing it is making us stronger." Back on New Hope Station, Ambassador Minho was preparing for the most important meeting in galactic history. Representatives from over 100 worlds were coming to sign the Federation Charter, a document that would officially end the Age of Empires and begin the Age of Cooperation. "Are you nervous?" asked Dunji. "A little," Minho admitted. "We are about to change how an entire galaxy governs itself. That is a big responsibility. Do you think it will work?" "I think it has to work. The alternative is going back to 1,000 years of war and oppression." The signing ceremony was held in the station's largest chamber. Beings from across the galaxy watched as their leaders signed the charter. The document was simple, but powerful. It said that all intelligent beings had the right to live in peace, to govern themselves, and to pursue happiness in their own way. When the last signature was added, the chamber erupted in celebration. But the loudest cheers came from the youngest beings present, the children who would grow up in this new galaxy. Former council speaker Velthar approached Minho after the ceremony. The old Nexari's crystal body was glowing with gentle blue light, the color of wisdom. "Ambassador," Velthar said, "I owe you an apology. When we first met, I thought humans were primitive creatures who needed to be controlled. I was wrong." "You were not wrong to be cautious," Minho replied. "You were responsible for protecting your people. That was your job. But I was wrong about what protection means. I thought protection meant keeping others weak. You showed me that real protection means making everyone strong." "That is what civilizations do," Minho said. "They protect all their members, not just the powerful ones." Dr. Chan-Ho joined the conversation. "Speaker Velthar, what do you think the galaxy will look like in 100 years? The old alien thought. Carefully. "I think it will be something none of us can imagine today. When different minds work together, they create possibilities that no single mind could conceive. And that does not frighten you?" "It used to. But I have learned something from humans. Change is not something to fear. Change is something to embrace." As the celebration continued around them, Minho looked out at the stars. Somewhere out there, human and alien ships were exploring together, discovering new worlds, new civilizations, new possibilities. Somewhere else, human and alien children were learning together, growing up as friends instead of enemies. "You know what the strangest thing is?" Minho said to his companions. "What?" they asked. "We became mighty not by conquering others, but by helping them become mighty too." Velthar's crystal body glowed brighter. Perhaps that is the real lesson of this story. True might is not the power to destroy. True might is the power to create something better than what existed before. Outside the station, the stars shone down on a galaxy that was no longer divided by fear and hatred. Instead, it was united by hope and the promise of a better tomorrow. The moment the Galactic Council realized humans were too mighty was not when they saw human weapons or human ships. It was when they realized that humans had the mightiest power of all, the power to imagine a better future and make it real. And in that new future, everyone was welcome.